Welcome to the Jon and Paul Show, brought to you by AdventuresInMinistry.com, the Palisades Church of Christ, and the Lads Leaders Program. I am Paul Sperling. With me, as usual, is Jon Paul. He is with me today, so it's a great day for the Jon and Paul Show. And
I was about to say, is it really as usual?
It's supposed to be. This is how it's meant to be. Let us begin this show by saying, happy birthday, Jon Paul. What's up?
Sure, whatever. It's just another day.
Yeah, I talked to Jon earlier today, and he said he forgot it was his birthday.
I did. I forgot it was my birthday. Yesterday, I was sitting at, what was I doing yesterday? I don't even remember. This is my birthday lunch from Paul.
Birthday lunch from Paul.
Brought to you by Guthrie's.
Guthrie's. There you go. Shout out. You know, they didn't pay for this, but we paid for this. But it's super good. Jon and Paul Show brought to you by Guthrie's.
Hey, there you go. Yeah.
We're going to eat.
Totally forgot. Hey, Matt. Thanks, buddy. Matt and I.
John's wishing everyone else a happy birthday on his birthday. That's how we roll.
I've lost my mind, man. I don't know what was going on.
It's awesome.
Matt and I got into a lot of fun when we were growing up together. Matt, do you still remember my 18th birthday? That's the question. That may have been. I'm not going to say how many years ago that was.
Sounds dangerous.
So, yeah, I totally forgot it was my birthday yesterday. And I guess I was just working, and all of a sudden it hit. And I was like, oh, it's my birthday.
It did.
I guess I better celebrate it.
So as we've been asked and encouraged to do this as we start our show, and as Podine grabs some birthday chicken.
I'm about to eat some birthday chicken.
Do that.
Yes, I am.
In just a little bit. Give us a minute to build up the audience a little bit. We're going to share the show. We ask you, if you're with us now, to share, take that and share that in all the groups that you know of, that you have, so people can listen to that later on. And as we're recording, simultaneously, the live stream is happening, and a better version of this is being recorded, hopefully, with graphics and logos and whatnot, and information there. Caleb Sampson on the other side of the glass, so to speak, producing and helping
legit on the other side of the glass.
Really making us
other side of the state,
making us look good. Hopefully, we need all the help we can get on that one. So, give us a second to do this, and we can start here in a minute.
Yeah, it was, and also as a way, if you're paying attention, you're watching this, as we're building up this audience, and as you can tell, this is not our normal time at which we get on. Normally, we get on about 10 o'clock in the morning. Run a little bit late with everything that was going on, but make sure you go and share and like this, not only on Facebook, but also go to YouTube. Go to the Jon and Paul Show on YouTube. Subscribe and click on that and like the video whenever it gets uploaded. But definitely go to the channel and subscribe to it so we can grow the channel. And who knows, Paul, what could possibly come up out of all of this?
You never know.
You never know. Yeah. Are you having fun over there? Did you get it shared?
I'm doing it. It's a Jon Paul Show page. Go to the Jon and Paul Show page.
AIM University shared your video. Wow, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. Let me get another one.
Oh, man. So we do have a good week. Guess what going on? Everybody, if you're sitting out there and you're watching, if you haven't been under a rock, this is the Super Bowl weekend that is coming up. Paul's got the TV on here behind me, and they're doing interviews right now. Or they're talking about Jameis Winston. He's not in the Super Bowl. Yeah, Tampa didn't make it.
They've been talking about with him for a long time. What does he have to talk about? All they can say is he was in the Pro Bowl in 2015.
Man, so that is such a pretty stadium right there.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Let me tell you, for those who don't know, I flew in. I had to fly to Orlando on Tuesday, fly back in on Wednesday, and flew out of Atlanta and back into Atlanta on both days. Which, by the way, for anybody who wants to complain about airports or whatever, or say they don't like Atlanta, I would much rather fly out of ATL out of Atlanta than most other big cities. When I went to,
it's official.
It's official.
Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, we'll talk about what the official news is.
We will.
We got a lot of breaking news that deal with Faulkner University and things today too. That Orlando International, their TSA lines are so disorganized. Where Atlanta, you may be there with like 15,000 people, but at least they're organized getting through. At least every time I've ever gone through a TSA line there.
Yeah, in Atlanta?
Yeah, in Atlanta.
Atlanta's got it going on. They know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a while.
Yep.
What, the largest?
Yeah, the largest airport
In the continental United States?
In the world.
In the world.
The busiest airport in the world.
I mean, it is the go-between for customs to leave the country and coming in. So a lot going on with that as well. Today is Jon's birthday. I think that we have shared this as well as we can share it while trying to keep our mind on the show. One thing is interesting, the reason why our show is being held so late this afternoon is because we were worried about Jon again. You should know last week we had trouble getting in touch with Jon because he fell on his phone and had to order a new one. And let's face it, things happen.
Uh-huh.
But with Podine, things always happen. And so it just happens that way. So today, what happened was, and I'm going to share this so you don't have to, and he's not complaining, it just happened. You know, he was receiving some birthday wishes from 11 to midnight, and, you know, my boy needed to get a little bit of sleep. And so they were keeping him up. He turned off the notifications, and so it turned off his alarm. And so he was a little late, slept in a little bit. But now we have a show here at 1 o'clock. So here's the thing. We want to start the show with a little bit of some Facebook faux pas. All right, so we start this, and this is just a little thing of mine, and this is me. Jon didn't just show. I almost called you Paul. He didn't show up and say, "Guess what? Guess what?" You know, people. Let's not. Of course, in some cases, you live in a different part of the world, and I get that. But when you send someone a birthday wish, make sure it's their birthday. All right. When you go the night before, and I know you're trying to, the early bird gets the worm kind of thing. You know, I get that, understand that. You got a big day the next day, but just you get notifications from Facebook telling you when birthdays are. Just send them then. Let that be it. Don't go crazy with it.
That's the only reason I remember that it was my birthday yesterday. Is that somebody had sent me one from India
at midnight,
and it sent me from India, and I guess they were already ahead. You know, they'd already crossed over to February 1st, and that was your birthday. And they're like, "Happy birthday!" I'm like, "Oh, my birthday's tomorrow. I totally forgot about that, but it's not my birthday yet." And so I had to remember that. But yes, we had not crossed over that part of the time zone yet.
Okay, birthday faux pas number 2. Don't send belated birthday wishes. If you've missed the 24 hours of birthday, you know, it's one day a year. You got one job. Just
because you know, Paul, I don't even.
No.
I turn Facebook off on that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fought me last year on it.
Some people actually detach themselves from social media, which makes no sense to me at all. When you're trying to connect with people and share the love of Jesus with people, why would you take yourself away from connection with the people of the world? I don't know. Anyway, so don't send it early. Don't send it late. Just you got 24 hours to make it happen, right? I mean, that's not asking too much. It's not asking too much. The Facebook will give you the notification. You know when it happens. So
yeah, it gave you one.
That. Yeah, it did. It sure did.
Yeah. Well, everybody else shares everything on Facebook anyway, so why not?
They do. I would get, well, the neighborhood that I live in, we have a neighborhood group.
You have a hood?
I have a hood. In the hood where I live, they talk about everything. From food trucks to speeding vehicles to someone passed me. You should never pass a person in a neighborhood, okay? Just stay in your lane. It's okay. You'll be out soon. No big deal. But there's a lot of helpful things too, though. You know, I need help lifting this. Will you come? It's a very helpful neighborhood. You know, there's a lot of give and take. Some good stuff.
Matt, so. I see Matt still watching. We could never pass each other in our neighborhoods. We probably run into cars because they'd always park on the street.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Or somebody gets shot, one or the other.
That's what happens, I guess.
It's just being in the hood.
Now, you say, Matt, you're saying the hood. Are you talking about like when you're in Calhoun or when you're growing up?
When I was growing up in
Jacksonville.
Okay. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Back in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
Matt is the one that was the infamous passenger with me when we got held up that time. Yes.
What?
Yes.
That was the one?
That is the one.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a story to tell.
Yeah, that is a story to tell. We got chased around Westside Jacksonville and then got put a gun.
Not good.
To us. That was great.
What year was that?
I don't remember.
Oh my goodness.
It was like 90.
You know,
5, 6.
You turned 44. You turned 44.
No, I'm not 44.
What do you?
Oh, don't you even go there on that one.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my word, 29. 29.
Not 44.
Wilson Ann actually texted me this morning and said, "Happy 29th birthday, Jon." I was like, finally somebody.
She's a sweet girl.
Finally somebody has nailed my birthday.
They know what it is.
Yes. Yeah, because you know all those ones that started and made me turn it off. It was Ella, and then Emily Jones, and then finally Caitlin popped into one. I was like, okay, do not disturb. I'm going
What
to
happens
sleep.
when you have a teenager?
Yeah. Yeah, see? Matt
And all
said,
of our friends.
Matt's like, that was a crazy night. It was a crazy night. One day we'll have to get Matt to call in. Sometime we can talk about that.
That'd be fun.
that
That'd be
that
fun.
event in particular. But I know everybody's tired of talking about birthdays and everything like this. We do have some big week. We have a big week coming up. I am leaving from here to go to Huntsville to pick up Kristen, and then heading over to Freed-Hardeman for the week. And you'll be joining me
Right.
Sunday.
I will. So Kristen will get the big bad tour of Freed-Hardeman and
Yeah.
get to know what that's like.
Yeah. So
It's safe to say she's seen Faulkner. She knows what Faulkner's
she
about.
has seen
Probably
Faulkner.
in all of her life there's an opportunity to do that. And so now it's a chance to go to
Yeah.
Henderson and show her a little bit of how
She's
the-
seen
how that
Faulkner
goes.
and Harding, and now she gets to go see Freed-Hardeman. And so, who knows where she's going to go? She's also talked about UNA, so we'll see.
Oh, okay.
So,
Stephanie went to UNA.
see, there you go.
She's
Not a bad
on the
thing.
line.
Yeah.
That's good.
Hey,
Different kind of line.
Different kind of line. Yeah, I was going to say
I was like,
Freed's a
whoa,
line,
I was
too.
like, yeah. North Alabama lines and Freed-Hardeman lines.
So we're going to be going up there
Yeah.
to Freed-Hardeman. It does kick off the Freed-Hardeman Lectureship Week. If anybody who has been a preacher for long enough, you've probably heard about the Freed-Hardeman lectures, or you've attended the Freed-Hardeman lectures.
Or youth minister.
Or a youth minister. That is
Not
correct.
just for
Paul.
preachers.
That is correct. But it's a good time when a lot of people get to go and kind of reconnect and have fellowship with each other, and then great lessons to go along. Will be my third time ever actually going
Wow.
to it. I just stayed in Montgomery.
That's good. You did. This is probably near my 20th year.
You're old.
Well, Philip, my father-in-law invited me to go with him, and my first year I went. Oh my goodness, I can't remember what year it was, but I know Bob Clarity was there with him, and they were really tight.
Wow. Okay.
And,
Yeah.
that's when Bob actually was preaching at Madison.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
And so it's been a while.
It has been a while.
But we had a good time. Enjoyed spending time with Brother Bob. Past I don't know, 5-6 years ago now. Yes.
Yeah.
But now Philip and I go, and it's an opportunity to get away, yes, but also spend time with father-in-law. He's got a lot to share. They talk about going to lectureships to learn stuff. I learned stuff from the Pope. I mean,
I was going to say, the
some
Pope
things,
is sitting there.
some things I learn things I don't want to hear, but he shares it anyway. But he's awesome. I enjoy that time. It's really a unique and interesting time to be there. It is a time to socialize, to continue to grow the network amongst the brethren up there in that area, and but also you learn a lot. I go to the youth side. Even someone at my age in youth ministry and ministry in general can learn things from the young guys.
You're still a young man, Paul.
I know.
Look. Just because you're a couple days older than me.
That's true. Just a couple of days.
A couple
2 or
days
3
older than me.
Days.
You're
older.
still good
That's
being
fine.
in youth ministry.
That's good. It's good to be 43. So we do that. We learn stuff, the lectureship, but also the book class is one of my favorite classes, which used to be held in Bader Gym, the late great Bader Gym.
Bader Gym, yeah.
But now it's over in the athletic complex.
That's right.
Beautiful building, and so vendors and books and opportunities to do some things over there too. That's where you'll find John here at the last leaders table, and I'll probably be close by.
You will.
Sharing my wares of Exposure Youth Camp and such, and so looking
You
forward
kind of scared
to,
me there a little bit. I'm like sharing your wares.
not what I wear, but my wares. My wares.
Oh, yes. He'll be showing those cards. Come by and see Paul. He'll be talking about, on one side's got the Exposure Youth Camp with the theme, and then also for the AIM conference. And so come talk to Paul. Come talk to me, either one of us, about AIMCon or Exposure.
Or lads.
Or lads, of what we're talking about. Paul can help with that, too. I see Catherine Kilgore. I love when she puts her name now. It's Hertz Tagovailoa. Said
Been her name for a while, though.
the Biltmore preacher and youth minister will be there next week. Here's the thing, Paul. We got some people here probably watching who may not have been able to attend Freed-Hardeman. Oh, Clark says happy birthday, Paul.
To me?
Yeah.
No, he's saying happy birthday to you.
It says happy birthday, Paul.
Clark has a lot of things to talk to you about.
Hey, Clark.
What
How
up,
you doing,
Clark
buddy?
Sims? Love you.
So talk to somebody if you've never been to the Freed-Hardeman lectures. Like I said, this is only be, I think, my third time actually going up there for it. You've been before. What are some of the things about it? What are some of the highlights? Sometimes I know the Freed lectures have always been synonymous with their open forum, and so those discussions and things that used to take place back in the day with Guy and Woods and Hardeman Nichols and some of those things, William Woodson, and then of course for many years here now, Ralph.
Oh yeah,
running it, but I think Ralph's still going to be there. Actually, I heard that.
Yeah. I can't imagine why he wouldn't.
Yeah.
For as long as I can remember, Brother William Woodson, I think was still on the panel for that with Ralph, and then Ralph took it for a number of years by himself, and that was always the highlight of the week. I mean,
everybody wants to go to argue.
They want to go. They want to hear what Ralph's going to say.
Forget brotherly love. We're here to argue about issues.
The best part is the intro part. He always has a joke, and you always assume it's going to be a corny joke, but it's always kind of fun, and it's a good way to get things started. They're very quick about how this is not the things that are said are not the rules of the school. They're just following the Bible, and so let that be it. And they're trying to put out fires before fires start.
Right.
And don't go in there thinking, let's see what we can do. Just listen to the wisdom that's shared and the legends that share it, and enjoy that. Ralph's a very interesting, a very, very, very intelligent man, and
I love me some Ralph Gilmore.
Benefit to the church.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the people who have joined him up there, Brother Apple, Jody Apple
was up there last year. Yeah.
And then
Cecil's been up there.
Cecil May's been up there
for years.
He's there again this year. I don't know if he's up there, but I know he's speaking this year on Freed Lectureship. So you go up there, you see all kinds of people. David Shannon will be at Faulkner this year, so it's neat to see the schools trade off people and speaking and sharing messages. And that's the big thing too, is just going to see and learn new things and hear from people you usually don't get to hear from. And so it's a neat thing. Usually, it shows up, starts on Sunday night and goes through Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon. And so it's a good program. It's very well attended. Freed-Hardeman's been around for a long time, very well attended, and so looking forward to that. A lot of books to be sold, a lot of lessons to be heard, and a lot of meals to be eaten, and a lot of fellowship to be had. So it's really good for everybody.
It's going to be fun. I know. I guess when I was up there with you last, everybody gets to go out like the steak and shake, and the meet and greet. Caleb is saying he's already heard some controversy that will possibly be coming out in the forum at Freed. Oh, Caleb, you're going to send a message. I'd like to know what this is going to be. Not that I'll ever open it in a timely manner or anything like that.
I would like to know what it is. I'd like for us to argue that right now.
Go ahead, Caleb. You can tell us what their supposed controversy is. We'd love to go ahead and get that discussion.
Let's go.
But it's more than just that at Freed-Hardeman. It's more than just that. It's a wonderful time to get together. The classes, the schedule. I mean, a lot of people have asked, are lectureships dead? Are these things that be do? But not at Freed-Hardeman.
Lloyd Auditorium is full.
It's always full.
Granted, it's been a little light the past couple of years. I think part of that was probably weather. Mm-hmm. You can almost guarantee there's going to be a snowstorm. If it's not, it's a weird year. And this may be a weird year.
It may be a weird year since they just had the snow come through, or supposed snow come through. Yeah. I mean, by the way, for everybody who's watching that, Alabama is still open. Yeah, it reopened later that day with the non-snow event.
The roads are definitely, most of the roads are open unless you come through Birmingham.
Unless you come through Birmingham, then it's terrible.
The milk and bread is gone, but there's that.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I just saw that.
What is it?
He said that the discussion could be around Oklahoma Christian. Oklahoma Christian just changed the name of their gym from N.B. Hardeman due to claims that he was a racist. I saw that this morning.
Really?
Yeah. That OC changed the name of it.
Mm.
So,
I can't speak to that because I don't know that to be true.
Right.
As far as his personal feelings.
Well, he's kind of passed from his life a long time ago. That's true. That's true. No offense.
But in the research, it's weird. To show my ignorance, I didn't realize they had a gym.
And supposedly others, he says, others will be bringing it up. So that means they're going in ready to fight with it. That'll be interesting.
Forget the biblical issues.
Yeah. And look, and here's the thing, and we live in a world, and we talked a little bit about this last week with some of the the controversy about social issues and things like that is, and you have some of this stuff coming up, over the last few years is what about things in the South, as far as the Confederate generals, should they be taken down because of this, and this, and this, and, how far is too far, and what's the Christian response, and so I get some of these discussions and everything that we're having. OC has some things in some different ways. Oh, Travis, thanks, Travis. Travis Christie said
Travis.
Happy birthday to me, and Roll Tide Paul.
Oh, Travis, hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I hope
Love
you're
you,
doing
brother.
well. Looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks, I guess.
Definitely.
Hopefully, get to see you up there in a couple weeks. I don't know exactly where we draw the line and how we should draw the line on certain things like this, but we could almost go back to anybody in history, and there's going to be something. Oh, they sneezed wrong, so we need to take their name off the street.
They're going to find something.
I mean, at some point, where does it stop?
When I say they're like, well, what do you mean with that? I mean, anybody who tries to cause controversy where controversy doesn't exist.
Right.
Things are going so well. You were just mentioning earlier, the Christian schools for some reason seem to be getting along really well lately.
They have been getting along.
So let's
really
let that
well
happen.
lately.
Let's not cause problems where they're not problems. that
It's
exist.
amazing. Okay, like today. Okay, we were talking about Freed-Hardeman a second ago. Today, actually, I don't know what time it is right now. What time
1:30.
1:30. In an hour and a half in Montgomery, you had the number 2 team in the nation battling the number 4 team in the nation of NAIA, and guess who they are? It's Freed-Hardeman versus Faulkner. And so that's crazy. That's amazing. Florida College is now. Oops, sorry, I hit that, Caleb. Florida College is now in the conference with Faulkner.
Right.
And so that's a school that a lot of people may not know about, that we don't hear a lot about. It's more associated with our non-institutional brother, but they're in our conference now, and so we're playing each other. And so that's kind of cool that we're having some of these things break down.
You can't say that's not an opportunity there. You can't say this isn't a chance to bridge the gap, to have opportunities to open up some discussions.
Yes.
So it's a good thing.
Well, it's like what Caleb just said here. When you're talking about, I hope before others drudge up and try to muddy a man's reputation in any universities, that they make sure it is more than a few random sources that we can keep in context. And here's the deal with it. You're talking about a man who's passed, when did N.B. Hardeman pass?
Dude, I don't know.
100 years?
Yeah, we're fixing to find out.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about somebody who has passed years and years and years ago. And I think we've got to keep everything in context with things. First of all, these are men. Everybody is a man. Even Martin Luther King, with everybody that we praise, there are things about his life.
1965.
N.B. Hardeman was alive in 1965. Okay, so it hasn't been 100 years.
Nicholas Brody Hardeman.
Okay.
Educator,
Okay.
debater, gospel preacher.
Okay. I guess my point of what I'm saying is, we can pick and choose with all of these things because they're men, they're human beings, they make mistakes.
Right.
And I think we can overdo some of these things. And we got to be very careful with that, and especially in our climate, our political climate that we have going on.
Why does it matter, though? I don't understand. When souls are suffering, why is that the thing we want to talk about?
I don't know.
I mean, I think you have to ask yourself what's at the heart of a person, and if you're about breaking things down, are you really helping the church? Are you helping Christ? Are you helping the cause of Christ?
And that's the thing, and that's the thing where we are, and that's what I said. As Christians, we got to be careful when we talk about some of these social events and social things that are taking place. Some things are just right and wrong.
Yeah.
And we got to be really careful that we're not making a mountain out of a molehill, and that we're not doing more damage to the cause of Christ by our reaction to these things.
That's true. Talking about the lectureship itself, wondering if there's something there for me or for you. They have a session for women, a ladies class on leadership. There's a class on for youth ministry and family ministry. There's one for campus ministry. Of course, they have a lot of lectures during the day for talking about the Restoration Movement and also the technical stuff, that they do with Brother Childress, does some stuff with PowerPoint, things like that. I think in most things, and John will chuckle, we've moved past a lot of those things, I think. Some people don't know what Prezi is yet, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of things
What's
out
Prezi?
there. Exactly. So there's some things out there that you learn and find some new things and some new ideas, new ways of how to connect with people, new ways on how to teach classes. I know specifically with the youth worker segment of it all, a lot of it is how to teach a certain book to teenagers, and how to connect and things like that. And so they have that for congregation as a whole. They have that for youth ministry, for women's ministries, for campus ministries. So there's a lot of different areas that are going to be addressed, as it is every year. Freed-Hardeman always puts on a good program. And that's always the first week of February, and then Faulkner's will follow it in March with first week of March. So
that's right, and
'tis the season.
It starts. We always talk about how exposure kind of kicks off the youth events, and it kind of kicks off. I mean, it did. It kicked off, and then next thing you know, between the last 3 weeks in January here, we've had Southern Summit, we've had Gulf, we've had CYC Dallas. We've even had
EU.
Yep. And here we are now with the lectureship that's going. We're getting ready to have CYC. Man, I'm hitting everything today. Yeah. CYC Pigeon Forge. It's going. Then you got Faulkner Lectures. This is the season in which everybody comes to do things. You get past football. You get past all those things that are taking place, and kind of everything gets shoved in here. Mm-hmm. But it's a great time for you to kind of rebuild in where you're at spiritually and to soak some of this stuff in.
That's right.
I know I'm about to choke on my food, and now you're sitting here about to choke on your food in here. And I want to go back to some of the things we were talking about here that Caleb had mentioned, about this thing with OC and the MB Hardeman name. And not the OC as in or county, but OC as in Oklahoma Christian.
California.
I guess they still call it Oklahoma Christian University. I just know whenever I talk to anybody, they always call it OC with everything. And taking the name off, think about this. Even people, and he mentions this, even people in the Bible, we put up on a high standard. Caleb said we're making him hungry by eating. Like Peter, we put Peter such on a high standard. We immortalized him. He preached the first gospel sermon. He's the guy that in Matthew 16 Jesus says, "Upon this rock I'm going to build my church." But he's also the guy that had to be called down by Paul because he is sitting here, having separatism out between the Jews and the Gentiles. So I think we need to slow down and we need to calm down of every little thing. Where I graduated high school, Paul, in Jacksonville, and where Matt, if Matt's still watching, I see his wife's joined us now.
Cool.
On the show, watching us. Where I graduated from in Jacksonville was named for N.B. Forrest, the Civil War general.
Right.
And I graduated from N.B. Forrest High School.
That's right.
And where they have just fought, I guess, a few years ago to change the name. They now call it Westside High School because they fought for years about changing the name because his past is known as the first Grand Wizard of the KKK. Mm-hmm. But he was, they named the schools there in Jacksonville after Civil War generals being down in the South and things that he fought. Right. He was brilliant general. He saves, the savior of Selma. That's what they always talk about down here in Alabama. But that's kind of how, the society in which we're living. And I think in the church, we need to be very careful we don't push into that, too.
Was General Forrest, was he from the Jacksonville area?
No, he's from Mississippi, North Mississippi.
Do you find that interesting?
It's just they named everything.
When you think about the Civil War, I do not think about Florida.
There was a battle in Florida.
I know there was, but the majority,
Battle of Olustee.
But I'm serious. Think about the top 10 battles of the Civil War.
You don't think about anything in Florida.
I just don't. I know they happened there. Mm-hmm. I know they did. But yeah, I mean, because when you think about the Tallahassee and the other things that go along with that, I know you love me to bring that up, but a lot of things that transpired there as well. Yeah, that's interesting on that.
So I think we got to be careful here, though, with the church. And this is the first thing I've ever heard of people calling out N.B. Hardeman. So it'll be interesting to see. Yep, that's right, Travis. He's Pulaski, Tennessee. That's right, not Mississippi. Tennessee, right there in Pulaski. That's right. That's where it was founded from. And so I think we do got to be careful of I guess this is official now that OC has pulled off the name of the gym since it's starting this controversy or whatever. And so I see Brandon Edwards has joined us. He may know some information about it too, since he's usually in the know with all these things like this. And so,
I just hate to see an organization disparage someone who's done so much good.
Well, and that's what's interesting.
I mean, everybody's got junk in the closet. That sounded terrible. I mean, everybody's got stuff they're probably not proud of.
Scott McCown's joined us. He said one of the first Civil War skirmishes was at Fort Pickens near Pensacola. Did not know that.
There you go.
Thank you, Scott, joining us with us. with that history majors in there.
I didn't say it wasn't there. I'm just saying.
But here's the thing, you know, now if this is true, is that going to put Freed-Hardeman in a position? I guess this is what Caleb was saying is going to be one of the controversies that are going to be brought up in the open forum is, does Freed change their name?
No. Come on.
To it?
No.
And so
I don't think there's any way.
I will say this: does this make a thing now? We should be careful what we name after men.
Well, probably. I mean, yeah, but like I said before, you can go to anybody's past and find something you probably don't like.
Sure.
You know, so
Sure.
just something to consider. I want to get back to some of the topics and things that are going to be offered here, and people I want to that we want to feature on this. Number one, Tuesday, I know Roy Johnson, I know you want to mention this, the session he's sharing.
Yep, because I'll be in there, and you too, because I'm going to grab
Tell
you.
us, yeah, we'll be there. Tell us about what Roy will be addressing and who he can help with that.
He's going to be talking about the Lads Leaders program, for those who don't know. It's changed over the years, and that's one thing I think that people may not understand a little bit, because, you know, when we grew up, it was all about song leading speech, all those things, and just coming and kind of doing that convention and things like this. But no, now it's really geared at being year round and teaching young men and young ladies to be leaders in the church. And so what Roy's going to be sitting here talking about is, maybe you've never heard of Lads of Leaders, or you're a church that's interested. He's going to talk about, you know, how do you get it started, but then also some of our churches that have been involved with it for 20, 30, 40 years.
This is the big part.
Is how do you reinvigorate it and get it kind of
make it fresh, make it new.
Oh, thank you, Katie Obert said happy birthday. Oh, cool. Oh, good old Katie. Miss all them.
So I'll make sure that everyone knows that's what's going on Tuesday. On Monday at 10:30, Hiram Kemp, who, speaking of Florida, preaches at the Lakeland Church of Christ. I think I'm wrong on that.
No. Does he preach at Lakeland? He preaches at the, he works at the Florida School of Preaching. So that's South Avenue in Lakeland.
Yeah,
Down there.
He'll be speaking about out of Egypt, the covenant, the burning bush, the covenant of the relationship. Hiram Kemp will be speaking at Exposure Youth Camp.
That's correct, and so that's pretty cool.
So yeah, so kind of neat. So check that out, and he's a great speaker. Heard him at the Southern Summit down in Valdosta a few weeks ago, and he did a great job in proclaiming God's word. And so many other people there, but I want to make sure and mention that for that.
And guys, if you're going to be there, please come by and see us. Come find us. We'd love to sit and talk with you and chat a little bit. I'll be there. And like I said, I'll be there in a few hours. Yeah, Lads Leaders has their board meeting, and I got to be there for that.
Yeah. And I'll be there late Sunday afternoon. So it's a good place. A lot of work. If you haven't been on campus at Freed-Hardeman in a while, it's beautiful. They've really done it, especially that clock tower in that area, in that middle there. And of course, David's doing a great job as president. And I got to spend some time with him out in Dallas. And so looking forward to getting a chance to see him too while we're there. And don't forget, if you are watching this, you can get on YouTube and watch the Faulkner, I forgot to mention this, the Faulkner Freed-Hardeman baseball game that kicks off this weekend. You did mention that.
Yes. Well, I didn't mention it was on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be broadcast live.
What time is that game?
Starts at 3 Central Time, and it's
Central.
they go off the rankings go off of where they finished last year at and if you pay attention to NAIA baseball, Freed-Hardeman did finish second last year to Southeastern, and Faulkner was fourth in the nation, and so that's where they're starting out this year.
So is this the first game of the year?
First game of the year, opening weekend. Nope, it's first game of the year, opening weekend. They play.
This is February 1st.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's early, man.
They play 1 today and 2 tomorrow, or 2 today and 1 tomorrow. Three game series.
3-game series.
Oh, Travis, man, you're welcome. Travis said a big thank you to Exposure Camp for the great gift cards during my hospital stay. Man, we're just glad that you are on the road to recovery and fighting this thing like a boss.
And hopefully there's more to come.
Oh yeah,
if it hasn't already gotten there. So let us know.
Let us know, Travis.
Yeah, for sure. Some other events we want to talk about while we're talking about this. We talked about some other things. We mentioned Exposure. We mentioned AIMCon. You got CYC coming up at the end of February. SOAR is happening the weekend of March 22nd.
I'll be
shout
there.
out there for Jeremy Hynode and Sam Welsh. If you have questions, reach out to them on that. Also, we started putting out some blasts yesterday on social media, and we'll be doing some other things for Inspire Youth Conference, which is the week of July 4th. I know Horizons happens that same week, but also Inspire Youth Conference that John and I both are involved with. integral part of that event. And so hopefully you'll make plans for that. Information will be going out soon. If you need information on that or any of these things, send us a message at Jon and Paul Show at gmail.com. Always also go to our website at jonandpaulshow.com.
Oh yeah, don't forget also Fusion up there at Heritage taking place in March.
Yes, absolutely.
Colin Little, I know, will want us to mention
Kurt
that one.
Brothers is speaking, and Keith Parker is speaking.
Yep.
It's and they started at I think lunch and ended at dinner. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I think they started last year. Was that the first year they started?
I think it's been 2 or 3
Has it
years.
been 2 or 3 years?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, definitely check all them out, and you'll get to see us at a lot of these places too. So we are definitely excited about all of that.
We love studying God's Word. We love fellowshipping with His children. So
Thomas Garner will see us at CYC in a few weeks.
I'll see you.
You're not coming, are you?
No.
You're gonna leave me all alone?
Yeah. All alone. You'll be all alone.
I'll be all
amongst
alone
the
with 15,000
20
of my
grand
friends.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be all right.
Good.
That means I hang out with Dale all weekend.
There you go. Send me pictures. Whatever.
Oh man, we do got some breaking news in the sports world.
Yeah, we do.
One in particular, if you are Thomas, well, especially this would probably involve down in South Georgia area.
Thomas is not in South Georgia.
Is he not in South Georgia? I thought he was in South Georgia.
No. Thomas is my cousin.
Oh.
He's in the Decatur area.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm getting the Garners mixed up then.
Oh, you think Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah, they may be related, but if they
Okay.
are, I don't know.
Okay.
Kevin's down there.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Breaking news for down there for South Georgia, that North Florida area.
Great for them. Great for them.
Great for them. Bad
Heartache
for us.
for Montgomery.
Yeah, heartache for us at Montgomery and at University and at Faulkner. But Charlie Knapp has been named the head football coach at Georgia Christian there in Dasher.
It is Facebook official, so it is true.
It is true. It is true. He's already cleaned out his office. I knew that.
Oh, wow.
Man, I'm happy for Chuck. This is going to be what's funny is, do you realize Chuck is the first person I met on campus at Faulkner when I first came? When I was in Cornerstone and we drove up in the middle of the night because we had to sing the next day. First person I met, Charlie Knapp.
I believe he brought y'all. No, it was after that.
Yeah.
I'll say when I directed with Dale Maywood, that Chuck was the one that brought the group.
Chuck brought the group up?
Yeah, that was neat.
Yeah. Old Chuck, man, we got some good stories together. But here's just the thing. This has been the first time since, it has to be at least 93, 92. Was he in school with you?
No.
So 90.
He was after me.
94, right around in there.
Yeah.
That Charlie Knapp will not be on campus at Faulkner
That's
University.
weird. Because he's a jack of all trades, man.
He is.
I mean, he loved that school and loved all the people there and was there for anybody. He's just a good dude.
Yeah.
He and Julie, just awesome people. I missed them dearly. We missed them. Our family missed them dearly.
Man, it's
But
going
I
to
know
be.
it's going to be a
It's going to be a
missing piece down there.
It is
for
going to
sure.
be a missing piece when you look around and you don't see Charlie on campus. And man, but we're so thrilled and happy for him to take over the program there at Georgia Christian. And know he's going to do a fabulous job.
And not only will he be able to do awesome for the football program, but I'm sure Julie will be there to be the superstar teacher.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's where my parents met each other, was at Georgia Christian.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They were teaching there and they got married, and then they went to Jacksonville,
I think I already
then came
told
back, and then adopted me, and they were teaching at Georgia Christian then.
And raised in Jacksonville.
Yeah, in the hood.
We met there.
Not the hood.
Not the hood. I just snotted.
Did you
I
snot
just
for real?
snotted a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Well, Paul, this is a big week also for college football that's going to be taking place.
It is.
National Signing Day on a Wednesday, which really, let's be honest with you, National Signing Day's already happened. This is just for the
Happened about a month ago.
latecomers.
Right. And don't get too excited, Bama fans. Don't get upset. They've already gotten their people.
The suburbs.
So the middle of the first week of February is not the time Alabama's going to get all their people. They've already got them. The big question here is, Saban has made a lot of hires.
He has.
And internet will show that they've already cut checks for these new people, and they haven't gotten rid of the old ones.
You mean
yet.
the players? They've already cut checks for the players?
No,
is that what you're saying, Paul? Paul, are you breaking news here on the Jon and Paul show that
assistants.
Alabama is paying players?
I'm sorry if you'll shut up. But I'll show you what's really happening. The assistant coaches are on staff that are already being paid. Yet he hasn't yet introduced who they are. And I think what's he waiting on?
I know one is.
Oh, we know a bunch.
I know who one is because he left Florida. He went up there for D-line.
Who's that?
Sal Sunseri.
Oh, yeah.
He's
He was in Florida?
He was in
I didn't
Florida.
realize that. I thought he went to the 49ers.
And he said
He left earlier to go to the 49ers and came
correct.
back around there. Okay, that's what happened.
Yep. And so he's going to be heading up there. And you know, you got to give Saban some credit to keep getting these top recruiting classes with all. I mean, there's no program in the nation that could handle the total outflow and inflow of coaches and new coaches and still maintain where it's at. And that tells you he's a good leader and great leader in what he does.
A good head coach doesn't just coach the players; he coaches the coaches.
That's correct.
And so that's what's happening.
That's correct.
And that's why they go there. They want to gain more information and help.
Yeah.
And then they'll be gone the next year. I mean, I hate saying that, but I'm hoping with the stable of assistants that he's calling analysts, that if one leaves from now on, he'll have another one just to bring into the fold. And I know that's what he's trying to do.
Travis said, and I put a frowny face to it, he said, I will not be taking a job on the Alabama staff, at least not this year. Travis Creasy's not. He's going to stay coaching high school ball.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Way to stand tall with that, Travis.
That was the next thing on the list.
It was the next thing on the list. We thought he was going.
Heading to T-Town, for sure.
Yeah, that is true.
There are a few openings.
Landon Olson said it's Saban's Rehabilitation Coaches Clinic.
Oh, no,
That's
no
exactly
doubt.
correct. Well, it's funny, when I was watching the national championship game and there's Butch Jones sitting on the sideline, and I'm just like, man, this is so
Well, the
awkwardly
biggest scandal
odd.
of the year was when he put out the cigar after the Bama beat
Yes.
Tennessee. And
Yes.
there's just one guy that calls in. I'm sorry, it's a guilty
that's right.
pleasure, but I do listen to Paul Feinbaum, and this guy every other day calls back and talks about
Which one?
the number of times that a coach can be on the sidelines. Is he a real coach or is he an analyst? There's only 9 people,
Something like that,
on the and he calls back over and over and over again. It's like, you're not going to get your justice here. Get it somewhere else. But he did. He took part in the pleasure of Alabama beating Tennessee just 1 year after he was removed from there. So,
Catherine says that, and I forgot about this, Steve Sarkisian is back as OC.
oh yeah,
Yeah, he's back there. We do have somebody who mentioned something here. You know, we're
$72,000 a month, by the way.
that's how much he makes.
Yes.
What a jerk. Just
South Sincere gets about $28,000 a month.
I have nothing to say about that.
Travis, are you sure you don't want to go back? Let's go, bro.
Do want to mention here that you know, one thing we do like to mention about events and different things here. Tabitha Mariah mentioned in here that said like for us to tell people about a website for kids to learn the Bible and how to read. And you can go there and check. The link is icanreadmybible.webs.com.
I like that one.
So definitely check that out, and we'll remember that, Tabitha, on future shows. icanreadmybible.webs.com, and check that out. And wonderful way to be able to do it. You know, that's one of the things I'm going to try to maybe start doing is some of these things. Scott, yeah. I bet you know a good church in T-Town, Scott. Oh, I went through there, I guess, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I guess it's easy to say now, or we can say this now. If you're looking for a job and you're in youth work, T-Town's the place to go because there's
It is open.
2 really nice congregations looking at it.
Scott's like, if Travis is hired, he wants Travis to come to
I'm
Church
sure.
Central.
Why wouldn't he?
Central Heaven there. Oh, there is something else going
Travis
on.
Creasy's in town. Bring him over. Let's go.
Oh, man. There is a big game going on this weekend. I think it's going on this weekend.
Oh, Sunday. Yeah.
Sunday, yeah, a little game. When I flew back into Atlanta, they had all the security already out there, and you could see the people wearing the Super Bowl shirts and everything else.
It's the
like
Patriots game, right?
This is the Patriots game.
Yeah.
Yeah, just another
Nobody
game.
even acts like they're playing anybody. It's just the Patriots. It's Tom Brady. It's the Patriots. Who cares?
I think it's going to be a good game, personally.
I do too.
I think it's going to be a really, really good
too.
game. I think it's going to surprise some people here. Do I expect the Patriots to win? Yes.
2.5.
That's the point?
2.5. That's the spread.
Wow.
Over under is 56.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got an SEC player feel with all the SEC players between the two that are out there. I'm excited about the running backs, both Georgia running backs, Gurley and Michelle sitting there. I'm excited about that.
Who outruns the other? Let's put them up against one another. I say it's Gurley. I think Gurley.
Well,
does
I
it.
think Gurley wants to after having such a terrible NFC Championship game.
Yeah, he's got
Because
he'll bounce back.
do you really expect the running back on the Patriots to have a big time game?
They're going to want to establish a running game, so that Brady won't have to work so hard.
He's getting old.
I mean, and you know what's going to happen. The Rams will take the lead and at halftime, and then Patriots will come back and win at the end.
Yeah, Landon just said Gurley has the better game, but Patriots win. And that's probably what's going to happen.
Probably.
I love Gurley. I always loved Gurley when he was at Georgia. And
he's a bruiser, man.
And I love him because he's got a combination of speed and power that runs in there. Sony Michel, he's great. Georgia's put out some really good running backs over the last few years with all their things that they're doing. And as we're watching the highlights of Virginia Tech Duke up here, they're talking about the quarterback from Duke as being one of the number one.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, the number one draft pick as a quarterback coming in there. But it should be a good game. Atlanta's going to do it right. They've done it before. It's going to be good weather down there for the game. It's going to be in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I mean,
good weather. Who cares? It's home.
They'll open up the top.
You think so?
Nah, probably not. It's supposed to be like 60.
Yeah, it's not.
That's cold for them. Man, let me tell you this. When I flew into Orlando, this is how I know I've been out of Florida for a while. When I flew into Orlando, when I left Atlanta, it was 34 degrees, something like that, and the weather was just getting to it.
70.
And I flew in, it was like 67, 68 degrees, and everybody's in sweatshirts. And I was like, man, I've been gone a while.
Yeah.
I've been gone a while. But I think, tell me what you think is going to happen here at the game. I know you think the Patriots are going to win.
I want the Rams to win. I want anybody to beat the Patriots. But I'm just afraid. I don't know.
Now you know how everybody feels about Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is. That's the way it comes down to.
Alabama doesn't win every year. We give Clemson one every now and then.
Oh, my word.
This year we just gave them everything.
You did. You just said, we're going to stop playing. And we're going to let Clemson
speaking
do this.
of information going out, Josh Jacobs, did you hear what he said?
No, I haven't. What's up?
He talked about how the team was fatigued when they were in the tunnel coming out. You could tell, you're walking on the field, that this is going to be a rough game. He's been quoted that way.
Why were they fatigued?
I guess because of all they've been through. The Oklahoma game wasn't a snoozer, that's for sure. And so they just weren't. He didn't think they were prepared and ready. And of course, Saban takes exception to that.
I was going to say,
but he'll never face him again. He's going pro and he's gone, so he doesn't deal with him anymore.
Wow,
it's a shame.
That is crazy.
But why wouldn't they be? I mean, everybody was after Bama all year long. I mean, now Bama and Clemson basically have the same problem.
They do.
There's a mark on their back, and everybody's after them, and they got to play. And Clemson really plays miserably through the year.
It's interesting that they turn it on here at the
yeah.
end, and when it gets in there, man, they turn it on.
That's the difference in being ACC and SEC.
True.
Sorry. It is.
It'll be interesting when we get to and see what takes place with the signing period here, and to kind of see where everybody ends up after Wednesday. So maybe next week when we get to talk a little bit about it and kind of see what's going to happen with where we think. I think now is the time where people need to come out with their. It's too early to make the top 25 pick and kind of see some teams that are going to be, because and I think it's unfair to always count on all these freshmen. It's rare that you get a Trevor Lawrence or you get a Tua or you get one of these guys that come in here and participate. That's one thing I've been talking with Auburn people about with Bo Nix coming in at quarterback, and they're hoping that Bo Nix is going to be a Tua or a Trevor Lawrence, and I'm like, just I'm hopeful that they can, or else Gus is going to be out of a job. But I just don't see that.
Gus's job,
no, I'm really not worried about Gus's job. I think they were stupid in what they did with their thing. Catherine says she's going to miss Josh Jacobs. Out of all the running backs,
he's good.
I loved him the best.
Yeah.
For Alabama,
he was good.
I loved watching him run.
The most consistent, the most hard hitting, for sure. I like Damian Harris, but. He was. I don't know. I just. You got more out of Josh Jacobs for sure.
So, it'll be interesting. And what we say, guys, if you're going to be up in the Henderson, Tennessee area,
look us up. We'll be in the
definitely
complex, and Monday night we will be at the Catfish Cabin.
Is that where we eat?
Tuesday night we'll be at. What's that place? Brooksy's, And then Wednesday night, I believe it's Outback, and then I'll be heading back.
The fact
Thursday
that,
morning.
that Paul listed everything that we're going to had nothing to do with we're going to be at the Lloyd Auditorium, we're going to be in this lecture here.
We spent an
Everything
hour
was
talking about
based
that. This is the
food.
last part. We got chicken on the table for crying out loud. Are you kidding me?
Everything Paul was like, this is where we're going to be eating here. There was one place I think I went with you. Dale took us. It's in the middle of nowhere. Do you remember that? We were driving, and it was outside of Henderson. And we were going somewhere, and I have
The barbecue?
I don't know. It was just this little hole in the wall. Just you're driving, all of a sudden it's just there. And the
What did you eat there?
I don't remember.
Was it a sandwich?
Probably.
There's a sandwich shop, and then there's the barbecue.
Maybe it's the
Jack's Creek Barbecues.
Maybe that's what it was. And the bathrooms are outside. You had to walk around the back because I remember it was cold and rainy, and I had to walk around outside to go
Both
to the
those places are that way.
No. It's
Not every place in Henderson has outside bathrooms.
This is
I'm
not
saying that.
This is not in Henderson.
I'm not
This is
saying
outside.
that. I'm just saying these two places in particular happen to have outhouses. The food was incredible there. The food's great. Food's great. Bathrooms, you know. Some people grade their restaurant experience by the
Oh, made it
bathrooms.
seem like Henderson has
I didn't mean it that
outhouses all over
way.
the place.
I didn't mean it that way.
Hey, last time I went to Henderson, which was Caleb says Jack's Creek.
That's what I said.
Yeah. I guess where was I? I was there at Freed in September.
Mm-hmm.
I went singing up there, and then I drove around Henderson. There's more stuff in Henderson than I remember.
Well,
I mean,
they're growing. It's a
they
growing.
got Taco Bell, and they got
They got
McDonald's,
Domino's now. That's good.
and the high school, and all that sitting over there.
Well, they just now built a high school. Is that what you're saying?
I never saw
Now
that
John
high
saying they
school.
just now built a high school. Us city boys, we're gonna go up there and what's up?
All my Freed-Hardeman people, I love you.
They're good people.
It's funny they did call me asking for money, and I'm like, I didn't go there.
If I don't send money to Faulkner.
I still remember my funny Freed story. I gotta say this, and then we'll close down. Is when I was working at Faulkner, and it was right before chapel started. Probably 30, 40 minutes before chapel started.
I know what's happening
And I get this phone call from Henderson, Tennessee, and I actually thought it was McCarthy, Coach McCarthy, because he still has his Henderson number from when he coached at Freed.
He's
in
a coach
baseball.
at Faulkner now.
And he's the baseball coach at Faulkner.
Yeah.
And so I walk out there, and I thought it was him, and I'm like, hello. And it was somebody calling at one of their students asking for money, and I said, would you really donate money to to help Christian education stuff? I said, do you see my address that is on your screen
Which
right
happens
now?
to be on campus at Faulkner.
I said, yeah, my address is say 5345 Atlanta Highway, Montgomery, Alabama. I said, yes. I said, that's Faulkner University. I work there.
So
I'm
how
getting
do you
ready to
think
start
this phone call's
chapel.
gonna go?
I felt so bad. And they
Did
just
you
started
tell them
laughing.
you're fixing to at least begin at chapel? That's funny.
I was like, and they were just laughing. They were laughing with
Yeah.
it and stuff. I said, I'm sorry, my money. I said, I love Freed and glad with everything, but right now my money and everything comes here at Faulkner, and my time goes here.
I was that kid at Faulkner. That was my work study.
That was your work study. You had to call the people. They
That
don't do that
in
anymore.
the pool room or the student center with
Yeah.
the pool tables. Thanks to Joey Wigginton for getting me out of that
Joey
call center.
Wigginton.
Let me play pool for a while. He watched after me, that's for sure.
Oh, he's still watching after
He
you.
does. He does. I miss him.
Well, Paul,
Well, John,
you know what that means.
The high pitched voice tells me we're done. For Jon Paul, I'm Paul Sperlin. This has been the Jon and Paul Show, brought to you by AdventuresInMinistry.com, the Lads Leaders Program, and the Palisades Church of Christ, right here in the Magic City where the magic happens. Less bridges,
Except on the roads.
more road opportunities. Thank you for being here. We do ask you to go share this show anywhere and everywhere that you can. Visit us on the Jon and Paul Show page on Facebook. Go to
And
our
YouTube.
website and YouTube. All is Jon and Paul show.com, Jon and Paul show at gmail.com, and on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. We're there. Be a part of the family, be a part of the discussion, and let's keep that discussion rolling all week long. See you at Freed. Love you. God bless.